Hello everyone. I think the last time I swatched out my Mission Gold colours, I had maybe 8 or 9 tubes, and since then, due to various super cheap sales, my collection's grown quite considerably. I think now I'm up to 39, so maybe it's time for another swatching session. I'll begin by just swatching out the colours, and then I'll have a talk about them at the end, so here goes. So first we have Lemon Yellow, which is PY3. Then Permanent Yellow Deep, which is PY65. Then Orange, which is PO73 and PY65. And Vermilion, PR112 and PO73. Permanent Red, which is PR112. Permanent Red Deep, which is PR254. And then Light Red, which is PBR25, PR112 and PY150. Rose Madder, which is PR176. Bright Opera, which is BV10 and PR122. And Bright Rose, which is BV7, BV10 and PR122. Burgundy Red, which is PR177. Then Rubin, which is PR254 and PR122. And Red Violet, which is PR122 and PB29. Bright Violet, which is BV7, PR122 and PV32. Compose Violet Deep, which is PB153 and PR122. Bright Clear Violet, which is PV32, PB29 and PR122. Ultramarine Deep, which is PB29 and PV15. Cobalt Blue number 1, which is PB29 and PB153. Cerulean Blue, which is PB153. Cobalt Blue number 2, which is PB28. Ultramarine Light, which is PB29. Prussian Blue, which is PB27. Peacock Blue, which is PB153 and PG7. Indigo, PB29, PB27 and PBK7. Prussian Green, PB27 and PG7. And Van Dyke Green, which is PG7 and PBR25. And Viridian, which is PG7. Turquoise Blue, which is PG7, PB153 and PW6. Hooker's Green, PG36, PBR25 and PY150. Sap Green, which is PG36 and PY150. Olive Green, which is PG36, PY150, PR112 and PBR25. Yellow Ochre number 1, which is PY42 and PY50, or PY150 I should say. Burnt Sienna, which is PBR25, PR112 and PY150. And Dark Burnt Sienna, which is PBR7. Red Brown, which is PBR25. Van Dyke Brown, PBR7. And Sepia, PBR7 and PBK7. And Paint Grey, PB153, PV19 and PBK7. And then finally the lovely granulating Cobalt Black, which is PBK27. Okay, that's all of them swatched out now. Please excuse some of the exposure issues in that swatching. It's rainy season here, so 1 minute is blazing sunshine and the next is cloudy. I hope it didn't affect too much and that you could still see what was going on. So, taking a closer look at some of the colours, first we got the lemon yellow, PY3. It's your normal lemon yellow, but as with most Mijello colours, this one seems really, really bright. Then permanent yellow deep. I'm not really into warm yellows, to be honest. I tend to just use an earth colour. The orange is fine, again. It's not a colour I use very often. This vermilion, every time I paint it out, I'm surprised at how nice a colour it really is. It's one that, I don't know, I just never think to use, but every time I do paint it, it seems really beautiful. Permanent red and permanent red deep. Yeah, I mean, they're fine, nothing special to me. This light red, in most brands, it's usually an earth colour. Yeah, the Mijello one is really bright and a yellowy orange undertone. At first I really hated it because it's, you know, not what I wanted, but the more I use it, some of the mixes you get from it are actually really beautiful. Moving on to the next 6 colours. First we got Rose Madder. This is a pretty nice cool red. Yeah, I think that would be pretty useful. Bright Opera. They definitely were not lying when they said it was bright. And Bright Rose too, that's great. But both of them are not light fast, so I would only use them in sketchbooks and for painting flowers. This Burgundy Red is quite similar to the Rose Madder, but just seems a bit duller. Rubin, or Rubine, however you say it. Yeah, I really like that one. This Red Violet, I've recently started using the Rembrandt Permanent Red Violet, and I really like it, though it's a single pigment PV19, sorry. Yeah, this one is a multi-pigment, but it's still a nice colour. Now on to the next 7. This is some violets and blues. First we got Bright Violet. This one is also not light fast. The BV7 and the PV32, I believe, are both fugitive. Are they fluorescents? So again, this is, I would personally only use it in sketchbooks. Compose Violet. Why is it called Compose Violet? No idea. That's fine. A deep violet. Bright Clear Violet. Again, this one is not light fast, so just in sketchbooks if I use it. Ultramarine Deep. Okay, this is one that I complain about. A lot of people complain about. You know, why is it not just a single pigment? I have no idea. For some reason, they put PV15 in with it. Yeah, I don't know. But in use, it's fine. It's not my favorite, but it's fine. Cobalt Blue number 1. This is a mix of ultramarine and phthalo blue. Why they call it Cobalt Blue, I have no idea, because it looks nothing like Cobalt Blue. Next is cerulean blue, or as normal people would call it, phthalo blue green shade. I don't know why Mijello call it cerulean blue. I say that every time. And then Cobalt Blue number 2, which is the real Cobalt Blue, which is PB28. Yeah, that's a lovely colour. On to the next 6 colours, starting with Ultramarine Light. This one is a single pigment ultramarine, it's PB29, and I do much prefer it to the Ultramarine Deep. It's just a nicer colour for me. Then Prussian Blue. I do like this colour, but I never use it. I know it mixes nice greens though. Peacock Blue. Yeah, not a colour I would really use. This Indigo, it's not a very nice looking colour. I expect kind of a bluey grey. This one is a bluey grey, but yeah, just about. Prussian Green. Yeah, again, not that interested in that colour. Van Dyke Green. I like the idea of this, but when you first paint it on, it looks great, but then it dries and it's very flat and not that nice in my opinion. Now on to some brighter greens. First we got Viridian, or what Mijello call Viridian. Other people would call it phthalo green blue shade. It's PG7. I've never used genuine Viridian, so I don't really know what it's like. Does it look like this? You tell me. Next we got Turquoise Blue. I put this one a bit out of order in the chart because I forgot I had it. This one has some white mixed in with it, so it's kind of one of their pastel colours, and you can kind of see it's a bit more opaque. Then we got Hooker's Green. I really like this green actually. I think it would be pretty useful. Then Sap Green. I know a lot of people use this as their convenience green. I've not used it much, but I'll give it a try sometime. Olive Green. This olive green is okay. A bit on the yellow side for me, and I'm not a big fan of it because it's a 4 pigment mix. The Yellow Ochre number 1. Again, they've mixed in some PY150. I'm not sure why. To make it more yellow, I guess. I've used it and it does the job fine. But I'd probably pick a different yellow ochre over this one. This burnt sienna is a lovely colour, but as many people have said, it's not really a burnt sienna. It's far too orange and the yellow undertones. It's quite fun to mix with though. And now the last 6 colours. We've got this dark burnt sienna. I got this because obviously the other burnt sienna isn't what I want. I saw this one was the PBR7 single pigment, and that's the usual burnt sienna pigment. And really, the colour's quite nice. Yeah, as they say, it's pretty dark. The only problem with it is if you put it in a palette, it will dry to a rock. And it's so hard to re-wet. I've never had a colour so bad at re-wetting, which is unusual for Mijello because usually all their colours re-wet really nicely. And even when it does re-wet, it's kind of gritty as well. It's just a horrible colour, or a horrible paint, I should say. I definitely would not recommend that one. And then after that, you got the red brown. This is a really amazing colour for me. I've been using it a lot recently, and yeah, I really love this PBR25. After that, you got Van Dyke brown. It doesn't come across so well in the picture, but it's quite a nice chocolate brown. It's PBR7. Yeah, I like that one. Then we got sepia. It's not such an interesting colour for me. I don't really use it. I know a lot of people do enjoy using it, so maybe I should give it a go. Then we got Payne's Grey. I really like this version of Payne's Grey. I know it's very blue. Some people don't like that, but I do. And then we got Cobalt Black. It's a beautiful granulating colour. Yeah, I think you can do some interesting things with it, I think. So that's it. That's all my Mijello colours. Even though I complain about them a little, especially with their strange naming of some paints and the earth colours not being all that great, I like Mijello colours a lot. I find that any time I paint with them, I always seem to enjoy it. Maybe that's because they're relatively cheap here in Asia. I'm sure if I was paying double the price, then I might enjoy it a lot less. I do think these Mijello Mission Gold paints are really high quality. They're very highly pigmented, but they're probably not for everyone because colours that usually granulate don't granulate all that much. Also, they don't move all that much wet in wet. And some people might also not like the fact that they are very, very bright. Though I'd say you should try them for yourself, really. Yeah, and then see what you think. I'm not sure if I'll be expanding my collection much more, unless there's any super cheap sales going on. You know how it is. Anyway, I should probably end the video there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.